I've been pretty honest about the Pathfinder campaign that I'm running on this channel. It's pirate themed, everyone was having a great time, but as of recent, I'd found it really hard to prepare. And if you've seen the title of this video, it's how I have let burnout ruin a campaign. Now, I just want to say, this campaign is not over, it's only on hiatus. Now, this next part I'm going to tell you isn't a fault on the system, it isn't a fault on the campaign, it isn't a fault on the players, it's, my fault. I had only prepped about 3 months worth of campaign because I thought this campaign was only going to be 3 months long. For some context, this campaign, before it started, about a month before it started, I had been told by 2 of my players that they were going to be moving away and weren't going to be able to participate from that point on. And then one of my players were going to be going to college soon. And so I was going to be losing 3 people out of an 8-people group. And so I was just like, okay, once that happens, I'll probably just grab some more people and start a new campaign. Long story short, those people who are going to be moving are not moving that far away. And the person that's going to college will still be able to play in the game. And so I was pretty much like, oh crap, I have nothing left prepped. And so at the end of my last session, which was 2 or 3 days ago, I sat down with everyone and said, hey, I've been going through some Game Master burnout. I found it hard to prep sessions. I have ran out of topics to put in this campaign. Can this campaign take a month-long hiatus? And can someone please DM a mini campaign or a campaign in the meantime? And yeah, that player that was going to go off to college because they didn't know how much they'd be able to play with us after, they went off to college, said, yeah, I'd be willing to game master a game based off of Legends of Zelda Breath of the Wild. And I've been experiencing Game Master burnout for probably close to about 7 weeks at this point. Because even before I started running my Curse of Strahd campaign, which I run every other weekend, I had been feeling some Game Master burnout. That's why I decided to pick up a pre-written module and, run it. And now that I have actually started running pre-written modules, I can probably make an entire other video about this. I have really enjoyed running pre-written modules. Originally I thought I didn't originally I thought that I wouldn't, because whenever you run a pre-written module, they are giving you a lot of information, you can't really be as creative. But no, this isn't an adventure. This is a setting that gives you loose plot hooks to an adventure. And I'm probably going to run Icewind Dale at some point, and Baldur's Gate Descent into Avernus, since those are 2 that I really have my eyes on and I really want to run. But back on track, I had been suffering Game Master burnout for as long as, this campaign has been going on. And so that's why I decided to pick up a pre-written module. But basically, I've shown you my prep in the past. The way that I prep for a game is constantly changing because I'm a very improv-heavy DM. I know that there's some game masters who are like, okay, they're going to be going into this city. I need to prepare the soup kitchen, the every book within the church, every sword description and how they're beaten up, and the guards watch, all that stuff. But I've always been the kind of DM where I'm just like, while prepping, there's a dragon here. The dragon is red. The dragon is named Teeny. There is 6,000 fake wooden coins in his hoard, stuff like that. I don't go into over detail because, I can improv all that stuff. If I'm planning out a city, it's probably going to be like this. Soup kitchen. Serve soup for 1 silver if they are employed. Barracks. I don't know, make up some stuff. Blacksmith. All the armor in this shop is mimicked. Stuff like that. I don't prepare a lot. I'm about to show you a snippet of my notes, which is when I was really going through Game Master burnout. First, I'm going to show you one where I wasn't going through Game Master burnout, and I'm going to show you one where I was. In this session, basically the party had woken up to their hotel rooms being burnt down by a dragon, and then they either had to decide to side with the dragon and basically go kill a bunch of druids or help the druids kill a dragon. And then this is one from a very recent session when I was going through DM burnout, where you can tell this isn't even halfway finished. I had basically brainstormed onto this page and did nothing else. And for those who are wondering how I plan out cities, it's like this. Yeah. The biggest advice whenever it comes to DMs dealing with Dungeon Master burnout is taking a break. I don't feel like that's good advice. Yes, it probably works. However, whenever you sign the social contract, whenever you decide to become a game master for a D&D game, your players are relying on you to be there every week, because for most players, this is their form of escapism. This is fun for them. If they can't play for 1 week, they're going to feel really bad. But hey, just remember, if you aren't having fun as a game master, if you're feeling like this is a chore to write out notes and, grab some cards and, roll some dice, then you don't need to do this. This is supposed to be your hobby. This is supposed to be fun. If this feels more like a chore than anything, step back and take a break. Oh, and by the way, this is my mimic. He doesn't bite, I promise. But yes, I understand this. It might feel like you're letting your players down. But in reality, most of the time, if you are going through DM burnout, your players can tell because your sessions are going to go down in quality. Take that break. Let yourself come up with new ideas. Plan out that next arc. Like I've already said, I'm taking a month-long break from this campaign and having someone run a mini campaign. That's great because they've been wanting to run another campaign for a while, even if it is a mini campaign, and even then, people are okay with it. My party is happy with the decision, and this isn't the end of the campaign. I've told them that it's going to come back, and so, yeah. Another piece of advice I hear all the time, and this one didn't help out. Wow. Another piece of advice I hear all the time is to look over your Appendix D, or go into a Game Master's Guide and look over their Appendix D. For you that don't know what an Appendix D is, it's basically a appendix or page in a book that tells you inspiration for how to run a role-playing game or just generic fantasy titles. Some examples of my Appendix D would be stuff like The Dark Crystal, Skyrim, Morrowind, Percy Jackson, The Mask, Infamous 2, the Scarecrow scenes from Batman Arkham Asylum. You can get as specific as you want, but typically I recommend building an Appendix D before shipping out your campaign one-pager to your players. And this doesn't have to be anything big, and just be expect this campaign is inspired by movie A, B, C, songs A, X, Y, Z. Really, will really explain and kind of capture the feeling of this campaign. But yes, go through some of that stuff, rewatch it, reread it, listen to it, whatever you need to do to just help you get that spark back in your campaign. This next one, I'm going to lead by example. If you couldn't tell, the advice was to get up off your greasy gaming chair and to go do something out in nature. I get that I'm right outside my house, but still. In fact, there is a place behind my house that has a little desk and chair set up where I will sometimes session prep. So yeah, just go out in nature and climb a tree or something. Alright, I'm back inside now. The next piece of advice, ask your players what they want from the campaign. This seems very generic, and most game masters will already be doing this afterwards, and it helps. Some systems I've seen, like Stars and Wishes, are, very easy to explain. Stars is one thing you really liked about the campaign or the session, and Wishes is one thing you want to see after or in the next session. Within my campaigns, or after my sessions, I've made it into kind of a commitment / something that I do, a ritual, to basically ask my players, hey, what did you like? Is there anything are there any questions that you need to ask? Is there anything that you feel like you got to miss out? Or I'll just ask something like any questions, comments, concerns about today's session. You can tell how out of breath I am, or out of breath. You can tell how out of way I am because I'm still breathing heavy from climbing that tree. Thank you for watching. If you liked the video, then please subscribe and leave a comment. And thank you. I'm gonna go session prep now. Alright. Okay, brainstorming. The dragon is a mimic. Oh, hey, good to see you. As you can see, I'm session prepping now, but have a good day.